Hello guys, welcome to the Train Parrot. Can the open interest act as a leading indicator? In other words, can the open interest tell us whether there's a high likelihood that a rally can continue going forward or if it's due for a massive reversal? The open interest consists in the total number of outstanding contracts, such as options, futures, perpetual swaps, that have not been settled. In other words, if we just stick to crypto, let's say it's all the positions that are still currently open using leverage. Spot is excluded from open interests. So if many people are holding Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other of the coins, that doesn't affect the open interest. But if you are in a short or a long using a contract like future perpetuals on an exchange, depending on the size of your position, depending on the leverage level, whether it's 1x to 150x, you will be affecting the amount of open interest in the system. The open interest doesn't tell you whether it's long positions or short positions. It acts as an aggregated metric that tells you overall how many positions are open. Having said that, there are very effective ways to tell whether a move up or down in the open interest is caused by people closing longs, opening shorts. We can speculate very accurately which one is which. But in this particular video, we are going to focus on the long-term moves of the open interest, and we are going to try to assess whether the event that we have last week, when Bitcoin barely moved 10%, which we could argue that in terms of price move, it wasn't a lot. But when it comes to open interest, there were major events, things that have not happened before. And if you are interested in trading Bitcoin and in trading in general in the crypto market, accumulating, hodling, running bots, regardless of what you're doing, keeping a close eye with what's going on with the open interest can give you a massive hedge. So in today's video, we're going to try to assess if the behavior that we are observing in the open interest, it's looking more like a bull market or a bear market. Guys, if this is the kind of content that you like to watch, I would really appreciate that like, subscribe to the channel, and switch on that notification bell so you get notified every time there's a new video. I make videos about bots, strategy, technical analysis, and if you really want to help the channel to keep growing in the way it's doing, make sure you watch the video until the very end and do not go anywhere without writing a comment down below. What we have here is the chart of the open interest on the daily using CryptoQuant. There's a few patterns that I see that are happening. I want you to focus on the blue line, which is the open interest versus the price in white from 2019 until today. And I want you to maybe pause the video and spend a few minutes if you can spot some patterns between what the bull market is doing versus the bear market. For example, we could argue that from the bottom of COVID up until here, that's a bull market. And you can see the open interest. We have a first major correction here, and then finally the all-time high. From then, it's been pretty much bear market, so you can observe all this area here and try to spot what is the difference in terms of behavior of open interest, bull market versus bear market. And why is that important? Because if we can spot what is the most significant difference, then we can assess whether the moves that we're currently having are bull or bear market. Guys, if you're planning to trade this market, I personally prefer to use OKX. The most bot-friendly exchange that I know. They just released the Signal trading bots, which offers huge flexibility to be able to run your own strategies. Watch this video that I published a couple of days ago. OKX Signal bots offer the best trading view bot setup, and I'm currently hosting this exclusive event to unlock up to 60,000 in rewards. Link in the description. The more you trade, the more rewards you're gonna get. Martin is saying that Bitcoin has the advantage in these odds. In the entire history of Bitcoin, there were 11 times where the open interest had a similar decline as 3 days ago. What happened last week? Among these 11, 8 led to increased prices, whereas 3 did not. So you could argue that we had 8 against 3 chances of going up after this. one important thing that I'm surprised that he doesn't mention is whether all these times that the open interest went down, to make a distinction between those times when it went down and the price went down versus the ones that it went down and the price went up. I will argue that when there is a reset of the open interest and the price comes down, there may be more chances that the price right after that can go up. He's also arguing that this situation is pretty rare. It's the largest decline in open interest since the top around 70K. This is not particularly the amount of decline in open interest, but the percentage that it dropped. And I completely agree with that. I remember when Bitcoin was coming down, I was having dinner and I look at my watch and I see the price coming down. RSI has been only this low in 2015 when it reached 5.5. I couldn't find any lower than 5.5. This intra-candle 4-hour value that I managed to capture was 4.7. No one is talking about 4.7 because the price ended up bouncing. The point is how extreme this move was since the all-time high. We have never had a moving percentage of the open interest this big. Lots of longs got liquidated, Binance open interest levels reset to March drop levels, and Bitcoin open interest finally found a bottom and started to creep up. Let's go back to the open interest now and let's see what you were able to figure out about the patterns. I'm gonna tell you my take on this. Open interest is usually in an uptrend, meaning that people are opening more and more positions. As time goes by, more people jump into the market. But eventually you see these resets, and I'm gonna call a reset every time that after a period of time you've been going just up, eventually you see a line almost vertically down, taking partially a large amount of the increase of open interest that you accumulated through 1 or 2 months. And we're going to call this reset a partial reset because it started from 1.8, it reached 3.8, and then the reset made it to 3. Therefore, it has reset less than half. In a bull market, you have only partial resets of the open interest. So you go high, you go very extreme, you get overbought, and you reset, overbought and reset. All those resets are partial, leading towards higher highs and higher lows in the open interest as well. You get a first major pullback where the open interest again resets to a partial value relative to the start of the bull market. So we are still making here a higher high regardless of this being the first major correction of the open interest. In the all-time high, we see a higher high. So up until here, you can argue that if we were just analyzing the open interest, we are always doing higher highs, higher lows, both in the short term and in the longer time frames. In the bear market, that structure changes and we can see how we start forming a channel to the downside, meaning that every time we get a reset from this last reset here, which is still partial, we start getting lower lows, making them full resets. So we come up here to 48K and this reset makes a lower low. We do another push to the upside in open interest and another lower low and another lower low, and the final one here so far is the FTX reset of open interest where we reach a price of 21, 22 with an open interest of 9.8 and we reset to 5.9. That was a massive reset of open interest. But what are we seeing since around November 2022? We're seeing higher highs in the open interest and we are seeing as well some resets that are still making higher lows. So this one is higher than the open interest that we reach at the bottom of the market so far. And this reset here is very significant, probably the largest of this year, but is higher than the reset in March. So I have to disagree with this chart. I don't know where this data is coming from, showing Binance open interest at the same level as March, but at least on CryptoQuant, if I select Binance, you can see that this reset is not at the same level as March. In March it was 2.6 and the reset that we are now is 2.9. So here is the final conclusion of where we are right now. Things can change overnight. Maybe I could change my mind tomorrow if we see a reset of the open interest below this level in the next few weeks or months. But so far, this open interest is looking still like a structure of an early bull market where you are printing constantly higher highs. Let's focus on this early bull market. Here, you can see that there are some resets, but you keep printing overall an uptrend with higher lows, including this September, that there was a big reset in the open interest. It wasn't lower than the ones that we have in this area here. And as I mentioned, that could change overnight. If tomorrow we go to 20K and we liquidate all the longs all the way to 15K, rest assured that the reset of this open interest will make a lower low here. And that will take a long time to recover. But we are not there yet, and I'm not necessarily anticipating that that's where we're going. The whole point of this video is to acknowledge that the structure so far, bull market and early bull markets, should in theory have a higher likelihood of another push to the upside. That's not necessarily gonna play out right tomorrow or the next week or the next month. Remember that September tends to be pretty bad month, years pre-election as well. I think it's worth keeping an eye if there is another correction on what's going on with the open interest. Let me know in the comments if you really want me to make another video about the open interest to let you know what happens if we get another flash of open interest, liquidating some extra longs potentially. And if that ever happens, if you want to know if we made a lower low in the open interest. That's definitely important to keep in your radar. Thank you so much for watching. Do not go anywhere without leaving that comment and that like. Thank you so much. Do not go anywhere without leaving that like and the comment below. That's definitely helping the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.